And we are back. After a long cold winter, we are ready to start reviewing again. So today we're looking at the ADCBatt 12volt 7.8 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. Now this company actually reached out to me to review this battery, so we will open it up and see how it goes. Alright, so the first thing I'm noticing is that we have a registration for a 3-year guarantee. It's a pretty good warranty considering the size and price on this battery. We've got an instruction manual, tells our capacity, has our max charge voltage, which is very helpful. A lot of these have different BMSs inside, so knowing the parameters for this BMS is actually very important, so I'm liking this so far. And then look at that. That is well packed. We've got a lot of insulating foam. Fits well within the box. And our battery is wrapped. Let's take a look at the voltage and we'll see how we go. .18. Go down lower. 1918. Okay, so our battery is a bit undercharged. So the first thing we'll do is we'll plug this into a benchtop charger. We'll charge it up and then we'll start doing some capacity tests on it. And we are sitting pretty at 14.6, 0 amps going to the battery, so we are now fully charged. Let's see where our high voltage disconnect is on this battery. Okay, so let's take it up. We've got it mostly charged. We're going to slowly increase the current until we reach that high voltage disconnect. So we'll see where it goes and where it stops accepting amps. Don't want to go beyond this charger's capability on the front outputs, which is 5 amps. So we know the maximum voltage for this battery is 14.6. What we're looking for is where that overvoltage disconnect kicks in. That's where the battery will stop taking in current. Let's make sure we're actually capable of going higher voltage. Alright, we've got it on a constant current now. .8. Now, we are expecting 15 volts. Once the battery hits 15 volts, it's going to stop the current. 14.9, it's getting exciting. We're at 15. Can we go higher? 15.1. We've got some fluctuation here. 15.2. 15.4, and it looks like it, well, Very interesting. So it keeps cutting it and bringing it back. So you can see that our BMS is cutting and returning and cutting and returning. And just to be sure we're reading correctly, let's check our voltage at battery. So I think it's pretty interesting. It looks like it takes this BMS a decent amount of time to kick in that overvoltage disconnect, but once it does, it just stops letting current into the battery. So I'm going to give this a marginal pass. Since it didn't allow the battery to keep charging, it kept cycling it on and off until we got to a stable voltage in the battery. It did effectuate a BMS cutoff, and now you can see no matter how many amps we try to put in the battery, it's not letting anything in. But again, only a marginal pass there. I would have liked to see at 15 a hard cutoff and allowing no more amps into the battery. Alrighty, so now we have our current tester connected to the battery, and what we're going to do is run some tests and see our current that we can pull. So if we take a look at this battery, and I really like this about this battery, we can actually see our charge current and discharge current maximums written on the battery. It's a very nice feature to have. It's very helpful. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our amps, and we're going to see if we can actually hit that 8 amp current. And since with this size of a battery we're mostly going to be pulling DC loads, we probably won't connect this to an inverter anyway. I'm happy doing this test without an inverter. So let's get it started. And we have no problem hitting that 8 amps, which is the rated discharge maximum for this battery. Let's go even higher. Now this battery is rated for 16 amp discharge for less than 3 seconds. So let's take it up to 12 amps and we'll see how we can go. Alright, so we're now pulling 135 watts out of this battery, or 12 amps. Now remember, this battery is only rated for 16 amp discharge for less than 3 seconds. So we're doing pretty hot here. So with this tester, I can only pull a maximum of about, let's see, we can go 14 amps. So we're now up to 14 amps. 1, 2, 3. We're holding strong at 150 watts. Now, really, this battery is only rated for 8 amps max discharge. 150 is probably the maximum that you want to go even for a short period of time. So we're not going to test beyond this and see where we can actually start doing damage to the battery. I'm very happy that it's still performing at 14 amps, even though it's only rated for an 8 amp maximum discharge. Now, we're going to charge the battery back up to full, and then we will do our capacity test at our normal charge rate. Alrighty, we are all charged up, showing 13.46. And now it is time for my favorite part of the review, the capacity test. So we're going to test the capacity at 1.5 amps, constant current discharge. And that's slightly lower than 0.2C, which would be 1.56, but that's about as close as we can go. I'd rather run longer than run short for this test, so we'll get started. Alrighty, we are coming to the end. We're already just over 5 hours. Looks like we might hit capacity. I'm crossing my fingers on this one. And we have officially passed the rated capacity. We are showing 99.9 watt hours, whereas the battery is rated for 99.84. We'll keep this running and see how far we go, but this is a good sign already. We've crossed the 8 amp hour threshold, so I'm expecting the battery to drop pretty quickly from this point. We'll continue to see how far it goes. Would you look at that, 105.5, and we are still going. We're down to 10.7 volts though, so this should be dropping really soon, but this battery has definitely surpassed the capacity test. Yeah, look at that rate it's dropping. We'll try and squeeze out the last watt hour of this battery so we can test the full capacity and see just where we stand. So, according to the battery, the discharge cutoff is at 10 volts, so we are nearly there. Looks like we might hit 106 watt hours. And we are down to just about, and that's, oh, we're below 10. So this battery has not cut off at the 10 volt, and there we go. So we just dropped below 10 for a minor second, and then we've cut.
Let's talk about this battery. So, at $49.99, which is the current price that you can get this battery on the ADC battery website, this puts it right in the middle of the 8 amp hour lithium iron phosphate range. You're not quite getting the cost per amp hour as a Miyati, for example. However, you're actually getting an accurate read on how many amp hours are in the battery. I think if you looked at the cost per amp hour of actual capacity, you're probably in that same price range. What I really appreciated about this battery is how well it shipped. It came with a 3-year warranty, an instruction manual telling me the exact voltages that I should expect, and charging voltage, charging rate, discharging rate, and it was packed very well. Again, this stands in direct contrast to the Miyati batteries. Now, the one thing I didn't like about this battery was the overvoltage disconnect and the undervoltage disconnect. There is a definite lag on those two disconnects, and it's not got the clean cut that I would like to see. This is probably due to the low capacity of the battery. There's not a lot of space for a steady voltage, so the BMS really doesn't have as strong a control as you would see with a 100 amp hour battery or larger. And I would like to test a larger battery from this company to see if those issues are smoothed out when you just have enough capacity to have really a stable voltage to check against. Now, as this battery can be connected up to 4 batteries in series, or up to 4 batteries in parallel, giving you a maximum of 48 volts or 31.2 amp hours, I think this is a solid buy for someone who's looking to create a system for an e-bike. At 2.16 pounds, this battery isn't too heavy, the form factor is really quite small, and the terminal connectors are standard for this size of battery. So let's talk about use cases for this battery. At 99.84 watt hours, it's actually just under the maximum that is allowed to carry on an airplane. That means if you've got an e-bike and you're traveling with it, you can bring your battery pack with you. You don't have to worry about different temperatures or other damage that might come from storing it in cargo. This size battery is also great for having a day at the beach. You can take a small portable solar panel, a small charge controller, feed your DC loads from that connection to the charge controller, or plug in a small inverter and run a speaker system or a projector. This is really lightweight and easy to carry. In fact, it would probably fit into the pouch on my Rockpal's 100-watt foldable solar panel. We'll play with that a little later, I think, this summer. All in all, I'm pretty pleased with the performance of this battery. The form factor is a major selling point for me. It's lightweight, it's packaged very well. Yes, there are some issues with the voltage disconnects, but I think those, when coupled with a good charge controller, are a non-issue. If you want to find out more about this company or purchase this battery, you can click the non-affiliate link below. I am not an affiliate with ADCBatt. That said, I was sent this battery for the purpose of doing this review. Thank you, and we've got some more videos coming out. We've built some exciting new projects, and I'm happy that the summer is back and we can get into testing season. Thanks for watching.